Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Blackshirt Breakdown. My name is Steve Marik. I'm a staff writer at Inside Nebraska with Rivals, and that over there is Jay Foreman, our NFL veteran and former Nebraska Blackshirt. Jay, another tough one for Husker fans to swallow. 13-10 loss at home to Maryland. The Terps walked off the Huskers with the 25-yard field goal at the very end. Just another disappointing performance from the offense. The defense did its thing once again, and we'll detail that in a few plays here in a second. But Jay, overall, it's not really looking great for the Huskers. The loss drops them to 5-5 overall, 3-4 in the Big Ten West. Now, the thing about the Big Ten West is it's everybody's kind of playing at the same level here. Nebraska is tied for second in the Big Ten West with that 3-4 conference record. Northwestern is 3-4. Wisconsin is 3-4. Illinois is 3-4. Minnesota is 3-4. So there is still some stuff to happen, believe it or not, at the end of this thing. And now Nebraska is facing a night road game under the lights in Madison, Wisconsin, 6:30 kick on Saturday. And the vibe in Madison is kind of weird, but we can save that talk for the end of this thing. But Jay, first of all, the Maryland game, what were your overall thoughts coming out of that one?
Obviously I felt like the turnovers is the known. Obviously that's not, there's no positive for there. It's kind of, I wouldn't say par for the course, but you just 5 turnovers. That's hard to even be.
Yeah.
It's commendable to be in the game, especially with a high octane offense like Maryland. So I think the defense played good enough to win. They forced 3 turnovers. Even though I'd probably like to say that they think that they could have played better on third down, right? And he gave one real huge explosive pass play and then kind of wilted it late. But
yeah,
special teams, I felt like that was a win. I felt like defense was a win. So it really comes down to the turnovers and the execution and in some crucial spots. So look, when you could talk about the offense turn the ball over, but this is, in my opinion, the best 2-week stretch that the offensive line has had, right? To play, I think they, as far as especially run blocking conventionally, I felt like they were good. I felt like the holes were there. I felt like Emmett Johnson hit it good. I think Fleeks did his thing. I even like when Sims came in and ran the quarterback draw, you saw some good push there. And, in Maryland, defensive line wise, it has been improved. And then their defensive scheme is very high risk, high reward. So they were going to try to like time up some things and get tackles for losses. So getting on guys and moving it was good. And pass protection was good. There was one point, I think it was Jeff Sims was in there. He looked like he went to like his 8th option, then decided to run it like, for 4 or 5 yards. So that lets you know that the protection was there. And so those are the positive things that you can take out of it and you can focus on those. But you really there's 2 weeks left in the most important week is this week, Wisconsin week on the road. Some injuries at quarterback. You got to find a way to get to that 6 wins. You need people still talking about the Big Ten West and being ranked second. The most important thing Nebraska needs to do is get 6 in that win column. It'll help the program. It'll help the kids. And it'll mean a lot, and through some tough circumstances this season where a ton of injuries, new regime, some things that they probably predicted and hoped to do well that they haven't been able to do, at least on a consistency basis as much as they'd like. And so being able to somehow, some way gut out 6 wins would be an accomplishment for them. So they got 2 more go at it. And the most important is here going on the road to Wisconsin, learn some things maybe that you didn't do well on the road at Michigan State, because playing on the road is different. And embrace the moment and go up there and play your best game and then win.
Embracing the moment. Ty Robinson embraced the moment on Saturday. I thought Ty Robinson was everywhere on that Husker defensive front, and that's where we start off with our highlights here. We're going to highlight him in my little yellow circle right here. But Jay, Ty Robinson, 7 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss. He got his hand on 2 passes even when he couldn't get to the quarterback. So what did you think of Ty Robinson's performance as we go through this one?
Well, this is the type of performance that everybody wanted to see out of Ty for a consistent consistent basis. So right here, it starts with his get off. He's a big old strong kid right there, right? Look, he just blows right. Look how much he just blew that center back up in there, and he just nothing he could do. Watch this right here. just knocks him back, and he's a great athlete to where, he can, get down the line and make a tackle. Then there's also a really good job right here by Buford, who's just coming back, from
Yep.
his, right here, crack replace. He blows up and kind of gets a good play there against the tight end, sets the edge. So then it allows a guy that's really, did the work early in the play, you get the payoff. And even if Ty didn't make that play and say Buford did, Ty made that play, even though, so, Ty got, reaped his reward there by his early work here, right? A little bit of an inside move. He does a good job of slanting and then keeping his pad square, and then he does a good job of tracing it down the line of scrimmage, and a good job by Buford right there, both of them, combined for that tackle for loss. And you had Nick Heinrich right there as well. So, you see a lot more guys around the ball when you have a defensive player like Ty Robinson, blowing a hole in the middle of the defense. And so that's what you expect from him. That's what we wanted from him. And he's starting to come on now. The last few weeks, he's been a lot more active. And when you talked about batting 2 balls, that's showing the, situational awareness, right? So if you're getting double team, you can't get there. That lets you know he has enough, defensive game plan knowledge to know where the ball might come out to get his, he's 6'5" to get his hands on the ball. Yep. And be effective. And he can be quite the force when he's playing like this.
Talking about a force, let's go to Nash Hutmacher on this next play. So this was that 4th and 1 deep in Husker territory on the 16, 17-yard line, it looks like. Look, Nash just stands up this center, walks him back, and runs it right into the running back's path.
Yeah, I mean, when they came out and it looked like they were going to actually run the ball, it's disrespectful anyways. That you'd even think you're on the 16-yard line. I don't care what. You got a kicker. I mean, this is about the same yard line you kicked the game-winning field goal on. So that's disrespectful. And the fact that you ran the ball, it was even more disrespectful. But you watch Nash right here, right? Look at this power, right? Good leverage. Look at him, his hat, and then his good extension right there, walking back in the backfield. Mm-hmm. Square pads, right? You had Tommy Hill coming free, and I think that's Javen Wright in there. So it's all set up there by Nash, and he had a one-on-one block there that he destroyed and make the play. So this is a phenomenal play by him. This is what you've seen on a more consistent basis from him, right? Consistent play, I think, is attack in the offseason on conditioning, all with Coach Coleman and the plan that they had set for them, and then plus this, this defensive scheme. And Tony White has done a great job, along with Terrence Knighton and the whole defensive staff, of finding ways to accentuate his strengths. And Nash is playing with a ton of confidence here. I mean, look at this right here. I mean, this is what you want to see, right? This is how Javen Wright's able to come in free, where the double team's not able to come off, and so Nash is there. He didn't try to, do too much. He did his job, stayed in his gap, and then allowed Tommy Hill to come in there and clean up the mess, or help clean up the mess, and Javen Wright too. But the play was made by Nash. That's a really impressive play to walk a center back 2-3 yards and make the play at the point of contact on 4th down. It's a big play in the game, momentum changing play. And Nash deserves all the credit because he's really worked hard at it. And you're happy for somebody that's able to find a role and improve their play, and then also go out there and do it week in and week out. Minnesota game, people thought like, oh, that was a little bit of luck, right? Now then you start to see, the couple games, non-conference games, he made some plays. Colorado made some plays. So now it's just like every week he's making plays. Mm-hmm. And, this is a big one right here. So I like it because, good players make plays when you need it. 4th and 1, you got to, roll through that offensive lineman and then make the play.
Now, another guy that's flashed on the defensive front, we'll go one more defensive front highlight here. Jamari Butler. He finished his day with 3 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss. And I really, really liked this play from him just before halftime. Got a stunt going with the tackles going out, the ends coming in, and just ran right into it was a good defensive call, I think, obviously, for the play.
Yeah, he's really came on this year. I think he leads the team in sacks, and he's in the first couple of weeks, I think he was a little banged up. So he's really been on a heater here since he stepped on the field. He gives you position flexibility because he's been able to play inside and outside, but it's good right there where you're able to do some stunts with him. And I think that was with him and Judy. But the best thing he did right here is sell it upfield, right? This is good coaching right here, right? You sell it upfield, and then when you come in, you have to have your eyes up, right? You have to have your eyes up and then let the mesh, and then he keeps his pad square. See that right there? Instead of getting down the line and the guy be able to cut behind him. And then also by having his pad square, he's able to make a heads up tackle here against a pretty good running back, 1,000-yard runner in the Big Ten in Hemby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's his plays to make. It's kind of a trap blocking here. And so it's a really good scheme and call against, this type of run play. But you got to make those plays, because once you're kind of schemed up, it's got to pay off for you. So it's a good job here by Judy coming out and kind of eating up two guys and leaving 74, where he's lost in translation, where he missed not only Gifford coming in late, missed Butler first. But I think it's a really good job right here. Stay square up, make a tackle from him against a really good back there. And Gifford was able to come in there and kind of jump on the pile. So, Jamari's been a bright spot, in my opinion. I think he's provided outside pass rush. He plays with good effort. He's a ascending player, and he's only going to get better just because of the simple fact that he's starting to get the reps maybe he thought that he should have got last year, but circumstances were different. But this year, where he's came from, right? You got to think he jumped in the portal, really, didn't really have a reason to, but just did it. And, they sat down with him and saw the potential in him. They didn't have a lot of tape on him, right? But when he walks in the room, you see a kid 6'4", 235, 240 that can run, aggressive, wants to be good, shows you different position flexibility. And then next thing you know, he dives into it, right? And he becomes one of the guys on the team that's, pretty trustworthy. So it's a really good play right here.
Now, you mentioned earlier in this video the work that Donovan Raiola has done with the offensive line. I thought you gave the O-line a shout out for their play in the game. Just what did you see from the guys up front? Because Emmett Johnson, had some lanes to run through on Saturday, and I thought the offensive line, the guys in front of him, the tight ends, did a really nice job.
Yeah, I mean, I think the easy excuse when you look at it, from the past is the offensive line. I think they consistently have done a better job of getting on guys, and you see that right here, right? And then you got a back like Emmett Johnson, I think, is getting confident every week. And look at him cutting back there. You didn't see that before, where he would just be more of a straight line. So you see it right here, right? I think they're getting off the ball. A couple years ago, they were just walking off the ball. Look, they're getting off the ball, trying to create a surge. Guys know where they're going, right? And a good double team there by
Benhart and Lindenmeyer got a good one.
Yeah, did a good job. And you see Lindenmeyer coming off. He's part of the offensive line and kind of peel back and get that little pipsqueak out of there. Yeah. And a good job by, Emmett Johnson hitting the right hole, right? So when you see it right here, this is what you want, right? Coming off the ball. Nuri's kind of doubling where with Scott. Scott's doing a good job. Everybody's kind of washing him down. Mm-hmm. And Emmett Johnson there's enough stalemates and stuff like that where he knows where to hit it right on that crease. Then get outside. Good job right here by making two guys miss. And then this is where, Emmett Johnson's really gotten a lot of confidence right here, kind of wiped him off right there, get upfield, stick it up there, and get yards after contact while securing the ball. And so, his success is definitely, right along, goes right along with his offensive line where they're coming off the ball. Teddy Prohaska getting some punch right there. Justin Evan Jenkins getting a stalemate. Ben Scott getting a stalemate, right? You got to think Ben Scott's dude had to get off of his block and make the play 20 yards down the field, 29 yards down the field. Mm-hmm. But he has a hard job. He's got to snap the ball and then win one-on-one, right? That's a win right there because it's coming right off of his butt, then right off of Bryce Benhart's butt right there. I think he almost got a pancake there, but walled him off.
Nuri gets a piece.
Getting away. And so this is good right here when you watch this, right? You can't complain about this right here. Surging off the ball or trying to surge. Bryce Benhart double team with Lindenmeyer. Good timing here on Lindenmeyer's part, right? You see a little bit of movement, right? Look at Bryce Benhart leaning on him there. Look, Emmett Johnson right there coming through there. Good finish there by Nuri. Two guys running like two trains in the night collide. And then right here, good job right there, right? Good job by Malachi getting a little piece right there and getting you some. Really good. I mean, you can't complain about that. That's a well-earned in 6 minutes left in the game, 29-yard run. Good blocking, good effort there by Malachi to try to get you some right there. Good job by Nuri trying to get downfield. I mean, so you're seeing an improvement, and I think, Donovan Raiola, especially doing it on the pivot, right, where kind of get thrown in there. You got a couple guys, you got starters out, and these guys that came in very quickly and gelled.
Yeah, and this is another one that I wanted to to show from Emmett Johnson. This is an excellent finish where he just kept those legs going, but also just a more good push from up front, big boys.
Yeah, it's the second quarter here. It's time to go get it, and they're coming off the ball right here. Good job right there.
Scott.
Looked at Scott and Bryce Benhart and Nuri
Mm-hmm.
did a good job of kind of trying to come in here and trying to, like, the double team was good. Look at Bryce right there. You're kind of trying to double scoop this guy right here.
Yeah.
Then Bryce overtakes him, and then Nuri's trying to get up to the second level,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets held right there. That's defensive holding. Actually, the
Yeah.
referee missed that, but then Bryce Brenhart's been leaning on the guy. They look at all the linemen have somebody that they're leaning on. Justin Evans Jenkins driving, Scott's driving. Was that Teddy Prohaska's driving onto these guys? You got was that Bullock up at there, or the Ty Hahn up there?
Yeah.
Jalen Lloyd was getting in there and trying to get busy too. So I mean, I think the intention and the effort is there. Look at this right here, right? Right, coming off the ball right here, good, right? You see Justin, they're trying to get a bump right there on number 7, right?
Okay.
See, and then he's coming up. See that little bump right there?
Yeah.
And Ben Scott's right there. Ben Scott's got the hardest job, right? Good cut there. Good job by Justin Evan Jenkins getting on 44. Good job by Bryce just staying on him, right? Good enough, right, to make him miss a tackle. And then I like the Emmett Johnson, like you said, running behind your pads with some power.
Yep.
Jalen Lloyd getting in there. You probably get your pads down there, young man. This ain't high school no more, right?
Yeah, he kind of got in it.
That's all right. It's a learning person.
Yeah, he's fighting. He's fighting.
He got thrown out the club a little bit. Didn't have a fake ID, but what I like to see is bodies on the ground. Nebraska guys finishing. Look, even you got Borkature right there starting to defend it to the echo of the whistle. These are building blocks that you need right here, right? So just watch it right here because Jalen Lloyd, good. Borkature, backside finish, right? Look at him, finish. Find your guy, finish. Right, you would like them to see him a little bit more on it and still get a little push in there and just let him know. But good job there. Probably need to be a little bit more of a bump there, but that's a good. I mean, this is a physical game here. So second quarter, so you go and get the initial bump here by Justin Evans Jenkins to help Teddy Prohaska, right? And you got 44 right here on 19, a good one-on-one block, right? Good stock block. Look at that right there. See that right? Redshirt Lindenmeyer's right there getting a good leg drive. Justin Evan Jenkins is getting under the pads of 44, trying to find his guy, right? Bryce Benhart has a hard job trying to keep 5 off of there, right? But he's still leaning on him. So that's a 6, 7, 8-yard gain. That's what you want right there on first down. And then Emmett Johnson's doing a good job of securing the ball and then getting some extra yards. So that's what you want out of a run play. Good job there by the offensive line. Good job by, the tight ends and the receivers and obviously the running back.
So, we're going to have to talk about this next play. This will be the last one that we're going to detail here. It's that third down, third and goal play from Maryland's 7-yard line. A lot of fans wanted Marcus Satterfield to call a run play and just, run it. If you don't get in the end zone, just kick a field goal, go up 13-10 and put your excellent defense out on the field. A lot of people who were maybe okay with throwing a pass here just wanted a little bit more effort from Billy Kemp and Malachi Coleman, and obviously just kind of a better throw from Chuba Purdy. But so Jay, everybody is kind of talking about this play. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah.
What do you see here? Should Marcus Satterfield have called a run in this situation?
I mean,
that's a tough call.
It's a tough. I mean, look, he's offensive coordinator. He's getting paid to make the call that he wanted, right? And so, sure, after it didn't work, you'd like to see a run play. That's easy.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess you could always say, should you call it a run play? Okay, that's fine. But I like to look at factual things, right? And okay, I'm a big believer. The play was called. Can we execute it? So what this is called right here. This is called a China route, right? If you go back to the beginning, very still shot right here, it's called a China route. So what happens is it's a corner with an end cut, right? So it might be, so the number 3, Billy Kemp, is supposed to be running all the way up to where that N is right there, the little triangle up there, the tip of the N. Okay. And between the ball's supposed to go between there and the pylon. And then Malachi Coleman's running an N route, right? And that looks like it was going to Malachi, but what the problem is that you see where Billy Kemp is? Yeah. The 7 cut is going up there by the top of the end. Look where he's at the bottom.
Bottom of the end.
Yeah. So you want to throw that to the pylon because, what happens is if it doesn't go in, then you kick the field goal anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So then you look at the in route right here, right? The China route. Too long. You got too long right there. It takes too long. You got jammed up, right? You shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving them your chest right here, getting jammed up. You're not off of it. Dude. You got to win there quick. You got to be decisive, because you might be getting the ball, right? This is not time to like this. The red zone. You got to win quick. You got to swipe down, get across his face, and you're wide open here because Bullock is clearing out, right? And
Yeah.
then also you need also by the shallowness of this 7 cut, it allows number 4 to play essentially guard both of them.
Yep.
Essentially, goes into a man because a defensive back knows the timing of a route, right? When Malachi doesn't win very quickly, and it's a longer developing route, and it's so shallow, right? So the shake move right there that Billy Kemp is doing is not needed. You need to be getting into him right after 5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That in the you need to be going at least at the worst case scenario. You need to be in between the bottom of the end and the top of the end, but you're at the bottom of the end. So the route, in my opinion, and from my experience, is way too shallow. Now then you go back to the throw. The throw is way too flat.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, because it might have confused Malachi who was getting the ball because you like that ball. So when you throw that in cut, you got to throw it to Malachi's body, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want it to be at his hands because then it could tip ball touchdown. So the accuracy of the ball is, I don't know where that's going. And it maybe, and I think a little bit is because of the route was so shallow.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the attention to details that probably Matt Rule is talking about, where you got to have excellent attention to detail. It's magnified down in the red zone. Really for Malachi, really, to be honest with you, you probably could have had a little bit tighter split.
Yeah.
Get
closer to get closer to Bullock.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you'd be trailing him some.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're sitting up here doing it afterwards. So this is the learning experience that these guys are getting on the job training, as you like to call it. And it's unfortunately, it was a turnover and the biggest point of the game after a really good drive and really good energy by Purdy. And there's 3 minutes and so let's say 30 seconds left, right? And they get the ball on the 24-yard line. Of course, the worst case scenario, you think you're giving up 3 points, and so you should, the chance at the field goal. The defense still had a chance to stop them. So, also, nobody's oblivious or nobody's above doing better. But that ball looks like
a lot of people are wondering if it was intentionally thrown to Malachi Coleman. I'm not so sure. I think this ball is going to Billy Kemp. What do you think, Jay? Who is Chubba Purdy throwing to right now?
Yeah, I don't know. You guys him. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really know. I mean,
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's a tough call.
And it's I mean, look, man, it's
because Malachi pulls off as if he thinks that the ball is not coming to him. This is a called shot to Billy Kemp in the back corner of the pylon, and it is like you said, the route doesn't even go to the back pylon.
Yeah, the execution wasn't there, and that's the way it is, and that's fine. And I mean, not fine, but that's just where it was at. And it sucks right now because I think Nebraska probably, with having turnovers, it probably played good enough to defensively or whatever to chance to give yourself a chance to have the lead, or whatever with 3:30 left. So that was one of the many plays. I mean, everybody's going to look at that one because that is the last play. But there's a lot of plays that are winning or losing plays throughout the game. So I think it's just one of the things that these guys are learning about what Matt Rule and those guys have been preaching probably since he got here, the first team meeting, making winning plays. Don't turn the ball over. Don't beat yourself. They're starting to they're seeing it in real life that it's important, and he's made it important. But you have to recognize it's important. You get what I'm saying? Like they got to understand how imperative it is to have the ball, to have the turnovers and especially in crucial times. So it sucks because again it's a second game in a row. Probably feel like Nebraska kind of let it slip out of their hands. They're gonna didn't finish the deal. So I think the biggest thing that, each player needs to do, and I know they're probably frustrated, is thinking about how can I finish? What can I do during the week to finish?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm as like I want to finish every meal, right?
Yeah.
I want to finish every rep in practice, every mental rep, every um, coaching session,
Mm-hmm.
meaning listen to everything with the intent when I'm in the meeting. Every rep in the weight room, I got to finish, because I think having that mentality, like everything you do is 4th and 1, I'm gonna finish,
Mm-hmm.
will help you push through this lean time and get to that 6th victory.
And pushing through might come against Madison. And
Yeah,
that was one thing. One more win, you get that sixth win, you're going to a bowl. That's going to be awesome for the program. It's going to create so much momentum, positive momentum for not only coaching staff, but on the recruiting trail too, with the players who
yeah,
are coming back next season. It's just going to be awesome if they can go. But it's going to be a tough deal under the lights in Madison, 6:30 p.m. Central Time kickoff. After a 4-1 start, Wisconsin has lost 4 of its last 5 games, including 3 in a row. They just lost 24-10 to Northwestern in Madison, so that was kind of weird. And then after the game, the weirdness even kind of got worse. Players were talking about other players' buy-in, Luke Fickell, all that stuff. It just interesting times in Madison right now. But Jay, obviously, Tanner Mordecai, the starting quarterback, he came back. It was his first game back after breaking his hand, and he threw for over 250 yards, I think. No
right.
touchdowns though. But what are your early impressions of this Nebraska-Wisconsin game, real quick, because we're up against time here?
It's gonna be a tough game. I mean,
Yep.
anytime you go on the road, at night in Camp Randall, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be the energy in there. The good thing about it is if you go up there with the right mentality and control the crowd by your play,
Yeah.
it turns into actually an easier game, because they are ripe for the picking to beat them up at home. So
Yes.
as much as they'll be hype at the beginning of the game, it's not the same energy as if they know what they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna expect from their Wisconsin team. So
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska just needs to do well against the pass, and if Braylon Allen plays, you got to bow up against him. Um, and then offensively, I think you just got to. Or obviously, the health probably of the quarterback position is going to be, the forefront. And like I said, we got to block the same way. We got to go on the road and block the same way we did conventional run game,
Yes.
and then make the decision to be decisive in the very very minute details, man. When you're
Mm-hmm.
playing the position, you just got to play out. Don't overthink it. Just go play football, hit the open guy, and just keep the chains moving. Because I think if they go up there and consistently get a drive or two, especially early in the game, where they're just, taking what the defense gives you, on time running game, quarterback run game, whatever it is, you can take the air and the momentum out of that Wisconsin stadium and that team very quickly. So, it's definitely a winnable game. We're not playing like Monty Ball, JJ White, and Russell Wilson and all those guys up there. So, and it's not taking anything away from it. We got to go up there and play. And it's not going to be easy, but we already knew that before the season started. So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's just the way it is. We got to go play football. We got to make more football winning plays than them. And then come back with a victory. And as easy as it sounds right now, as I'm saying, it's going to be a hard deal, but I think it'd be well earned when they go up there and get it done.
And we'll be right here to break it all down when they fly home with a win or a loss. We will find out. So for Jay Foreman, I am Steve Marik, and that was another edition of Blackshirt Breakdown, Maryland style. We will catch y'all later.